Good morning. Grace for your place. We're going to be reading from 2 Timothy chapter 1 verse number 6 through 7. Wherefore I put in thee remembrance that thou stir up the gift of God, which is in thee by putting on of my hands. For God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and love and of a sound mind. Grace for your place. Wherever you are in God, remember that God's grace is more than enough. Take time to remember the things that God has delivered you from and the places that God has delivered you from. The accident. Maybe you was getting ready to get in an accident and God, He kept you out of that accident. You may say, well, that was like 10 years ago. Or perhaps you was in an abusive relationship and you didn't die. You know how many women and men die from abusive relationships? The grace of God was upon you, so you're able to get out of that and you're able to be a testimony to others. Have you testified on God's behalf and let somebody else know how God has healed and delivered you? But yet we're still, every day we asking for more, more, and more. Let us not forget what God has delivered and healed us from. Let us not be weary in well doing. And let us not be embarrassed by the things that God has delivered us from. We're always asking for more. But just know beyond a shadow of a doubt that God's grace is with you as long as you are being led by the Spirit of God. God has done a lot. He's done a lot. And it's time for us to stop and be appreciative of what He's done. Take a moment to just sit and think for about 5 minutes and close your eyes in a quiet space and just think about how God healed and delivered you, how God protected you in an unseen and unseen danger, how the enemy tried to take you out, but God. You know how you had a bill due and nobody was able to say that they can help you, but God. How the refrigerator was empty and you didn't have any food, but God. Grace for your place. We need to continually trust God. We need to continually believe God, no matter what is going on around us. No matter what the enemy tries to put forth to distract us, let us stop and think about the goodness of God. Let us stop and think about how God has been there for us and He's always allowed His grace to be there. Let us get hope and believe and trust in God and not in what we see. Let us walk by faith and not by sight. Let us walk by faith and not live in fear. Let us trust and believe God. God got us. God got us. You know, just because you have a rough start doesn't mean you can't have a great finish. Okay? And just know that if we keep the faith, trust and believe God, we'll get double for our trouble. We'll get double the blessing, just like Job. You know, everybody may talk about him and they were like laughing at him, but he kept the faith in God. And that's what God wants us to do this day. No matter what's going on around us, we got to keep the faith in God. We've got to look unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith. We've got to know that God loves us and we love ourselves and God has a good plan for our lives. Grace for your place. Remember, God is there. We just got to keep remembering that. God, I know you're there. Lord, it don't look right, but I know you're there. And just know that God's grace will continually lead us on. Let's trust and believe God. And just know beyond a shadow of a doubt, God got us. I just want to leave you with this song stanza right here, just to encourage you for your day. Amazing grace, how sweet, my Lord, the sound that saved a wretch like me. Yeah. God bless you. God keep you. Grace for your place. God got us.